So everyone's here. Fee, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, how about Sam?
He'll be here very soon.
Okay, so let's get started, okay? All right. So everyone's here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Fee, are you there? Who's that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, how about Sam?
He'll be here very soon.
Okay, so let's get started, okay? All right. Sorry about that. Okay. All right. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, world. We are now. It's actually third time for XnTREE Open Tech Week. We'd like to introduce one of the best startups locally. And this month, we specifically focused on Vietnamese local startups. And we have invited renowned speakers this time. So Florian von Tuscher from EU Tech Chamber, is chairman, and also Sam Wood is Deputy Consul General of UK government, and also DIT in Vietnam. So I'd like to introduce all with these renowned speakers. And we have lined up of 5 speakers representing the startups in Vietnam, and also probably one from Germany. So I think that the rest of the people can do a little bit about the presentations, what they do. They can promote their solutions, technologies, and that will be actually adaptable to smart city we are building right now, together with Hoan Kien District Council and Hanoi City Government. So before I just go through our presentations and just a little briefing about Hanoi Smart City, I'd like to introduce the speakers and also judges for today's event. So first of all, I'd like to ask Mr. Sam Wood, can you briefly introduce yourself? 1 minute, please.
Hi, morning everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try that again. Sorry, we've just got some feedback at our end.
No, you're muted. Sam, you are muted.
Okay, now I'm on mute.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah, they're much better.
Okay, great, thank you. I'm just having to use Fee's microphone because I think mine's not working properly. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you. Only appropriate that there are tech issues from our end on a tech event, so very fitting. But thank you. I'm Sam Wood, the Deputy Consul General here in Ho Chi Minh City and Deputy Head of the Consulate. We head up our DIT Department for International Trade Operations for Vietnam. So we work across a number of priority sectors, technology being an absolute priority for us in the context of the UK-Vietnam relationship. And I'll say a little bit more later, but that's it by way of introduction.
Thank you very much. Fee, can you introduce yourself, please?
Well, yes. So I'm the trade manager for technology at the British Consulate General in Ho Chi Minh City, basically looking after the technology for the UK's Department for International Trade in Vietnam, and has been supporting smart cities for a while. And we have a couple of projects in smart cities that I would like to share.
Thank you, Fee. Mr. Park.
Yeah, nice to meet you and hear everyone. My name is Moon Park at KPMG Korea, and I'm in charge of Digital Transformation Center of Excellence, and happy to participate here.
Thank you, Mr. Park. Selena. You're muted, Selena.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone from Saigon. My name is Selena. I'm founder and CEO of WSAFE, an impact contributor. We focus on tech and innovations for climate and environment. And thank Peter for inviting me here today for Just Roll. Thank you, and hope everyone enjoy this evening.
Thank you. Osman.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Peter, for inviting me. I'm Otman Zrikam. I'm co-founder and chief data officer of AO PropTech, with the largest venture capital firm dedicated to real estate technologies in Europe with a 250 million fund. And we invest across all type of industry and verticals that cover smart city, smart building, and all of those very exciting topics. And we also invest across all stages, so from seed to pre-IPO. Nice to meet you all and excited to be part of the jury today.
Thank you, Osman. I think maybe we can actually jump onto Amir from Israel.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Peter. My name is Amir Gutman. I'm the founder and managing partner of Aviv Venture Capital here in Israel, in Tel Aviv. I'm excited to be in this project.
Thank you very much. Also, Fam, are you there? You are muted. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Tung An. I'm actually from Vietnam. I'm the founder and CEO of Cloud Energy. We are focusing on the energy management for the smart city.
Okay, so Fam is actually representing the startups. You'll be actually presenting for today, the second part of the webinar. And lastly, Florian, can you introduce yourself, please?
Thanks, Peter. My name is Florian von Tucher. I'm the chairman of the European Technology Chamber, and I will tell you more about the chamber and our activities in a short keynote in a minute.
Okay, wonderful. So before we go, let me just take a little time to explain what's going on with Smart City, because the purpose of doing this XnTREE Open Tech Week is to cultivate and find out the the high potential companies and entrepreneurs, startups, and large corporation, also the other collaborators and as partners to be embedded. They're working on together on Smart City in Hanoi. So last year we signed a mandate agreement with the Hanoi City government and Hoan Kiem, the City Council. Then we are actually targeting 5-year plan for the smart city initiatives, and specifically targeting on mobility, environment, and smart finance, and healthcare and securities. And we're trying to build up in this kind of categories based on the budget and investment about $1 or maybe $2 billion in the next 5 years. So let me just share the screen with you to explain what would be the good goals and also the agenda of the Smart City in Hanoi. Just quick. Can you see this one? Yeah? Okay, that's good. So personally, I was involved in a Smart City project since 2013. My first project was actually East London Smart City Initiatives, which was called Cognitivity. So city based on cognitive science, we try to make the city much more like intelligent cities or AI city bases. So we are now working on the people-centered city kind of concept, also based on the data-driven economy and technology and innovation and environment-friendly ecosystem. And also the most important thing is to connect other cities to be building up the smart city ecosystem together. So so people is the most important components of the city we actually really believe in. And smart mobility, as I said, is a very important thing for Vietnam. As you probably understand that the mobility is quite different systems in Vietnam has comparing to other cities and countries. Smart water and digital smart city, safety living, and energy efficiency these are the basic pillars that should be supported in a way of the building up the better smart city schemes and for the future of Vietnam. So we are targeting on Hoan Kiem area. There are many different reasons, but the thing is this area could be very meaningful. We are trying to make the cities kind of this zone as the future city initiatives to be benchmarked by other adjacent countries or the cities in different countries in Asia that to be maybe collaborating together in the future. The Smart City Tech City initiative is very important to make the city much more sustainable in terms of economy and future industries and innovation. And Smart Digital City is also kind of quite interesting parts to be developed. And people-oriented smart city design, because design is also a very important function to be supported. And R&D plug-in city kind of concept to also develop city based on the R&Ds and to be deployed, based on the commercializations in the future. And of course, the regulation-free zone based on the special law in smart cities in Hanoi and Vietnam. That will be very, very important. And open big data city, because data people are the most, the fundamental function of the smart city components that we actually consider it very important. Civic experience, innovation, technology, the people like citizens and people living in the city can experience this one. It's much more important. They have to experience, they have to feel something really changing. So water, environment, mobility, security, energy, and life and culture are basically important part of the smart city design we are working on right now. So living lab hub, probably some of the Western Europe or Eastern Europe, other countries be collaborated with Hanoi Smart City agenda. So this is something that we are working on right now. Smart water city and city specializing in eco-friendly water. That is a kind of a basic concept to be supported as well. Some of the infrastructures we are actually working on is smart mobility. A lot of, you can see that a lot of scooters and motorcycles running around the city, probably between 3 million, 4 million, the motorcycles. And these are they should be changed in a way of electricity version. So we are trying to fix or change the entire system into electricity version in the next few years. And I can just jump up there. So XnTREE's role is, as I said, about $1 billion, about 30% out of them will be spent on the innovation ecosystem. Specifically, we support these tech startups around the world so that they can grow based on this, the Smart City Hanoi projects. Let's see that. And this is actually basic fundamental foundations that some of the startups, they be invited by the Smart City Tech Sandbox we are running in Hanoi. And also eventually they go through the 1 year, which is 12 months core programs, and they'll be actually validated in a way of their solutions and technologies and services. And eventually they'll be picked by the SPC, which is a special purpose corporations and city government. They'll be definitely the winning bidder out of this core programs. They'll be generating their revenues, and also the SPC can also invest in them in terms of the scale of fund investment, so that they can actually relocate to other projects in Vietnam locally or internationally. So this is official websites to be, they're running the tech sandbox of Hanoi Smart City projects, which is XnTREE.co. This is actually the flow of the investments. You can see that later. So I'm gonna actually jump up this part because there are a lot of things that are going on. But this World Smart Cities Forum is a London-based nonprofit organization signed together with the city government of Hanoi, and Archive Labs actually raising funds, to support the projects. And XnTREE is working on nurturing the startups to be validated within the core programs in the future. So we are happy to be a part of the Hanoi Smart City projects and to be, establishing the very meaningful projects and outcomes and achievements together with the startups in Vietnam, as well as international startups. So now I'm gonna actually stop this part right here. Then Then from now on, I think that I would like to invite chairman of EU Tech Chamber. He's going to actually talk about his insights for smart cities and innovation. Florian, are you ready?
Now I am. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Peter. And let me share my screen to all of you. You should be able to see it now. Please confirm me, Peter, if you receive it.
You got it.
Perfect. So, first of all, thank you to all of you for being here today and giving the chance to talk a bit about smart cities for Europe. But let me first tell you a few words about the European Technology Chamber. The Chamber was founded in 2015 with one big vision, that technology obliges and should be used for the greater good of mankind. Based on this vision, the Chamber has gradually evolved, and nowadays with over 1,800 active members, we are Europe's largest tech organization, and we follow three concrete goals. First of all, we want to use technology to make Europe more competitive. Second, we want to reach sustainability through the use of technology, and we want European companies to grow, not just in Europe, but also go into emerging markets. And as you can see today, we are talking about smart cities. Those three goals are also the goals which any smart city would have. A city wants to be competitive, a city wants to be sustainable, and a city wants to grow or at least attract good technology companies to its city. So we, with our mission, are pretty much aligned to what we are trying to reach today and what the Smart City Forum with Peter trying to reach. So how do we structure our chamber? We have structured ourselves into so-called sections. We have three types. The first type is the chapters. So the chapters are geographic, regional sections. For example, we have the Latin America chapter, the Africa chapter, the Middle East chapter, the China chapter, and so on. Second, we have our commissions. The commissions are mission-based, theme-based, so-called horizontal sections, where we try to reach goals such as climate action, financing, startup support, and so on. And last not least, we have our tech council, 16 of those. And those are the verticals. We do the deep dives into technologies such as energy, mobility, but also smart cities. And most of these tech councils are somehow also related to smart cities. So before I talk more about smart cities, let me show you a bit what we do for our members. Basically, we do publications. We already have a white paper for smart cities. We have a position paper for governments regarding smart cities. We have over 650 section meetings every year where we go into a deep dive into technology fields. We have over 200 events, and we have our own virtual platform, which we are also using very much with smart cities in corporations. Apart from this, we have an EU Tech Center program, which is very much focused also in supporting smart cities, but I will come to this later on. Before, let me look a bit about the events of our chamber from 2015 to 2020, before Corona. That's how the events look like, but these events will not come back. What will come back, however, is going to be our tech summits, our EU tech summits, which are happening. 4 of those every year are happening in Europe, where we have 1,000 European tech companies participating. And we do those also in our different chapters. So we do this in China, we do that in Africa and in Latin America. So reach out to us if you're interested to learn more about this. What do we do with all our events in the meantime? Well, we created our own little virtual EU Tech Center under www.technology.eu. You can find it. And we have our conference area inside, we have our exhibitions inside, and it's an amazing tool to work together. I will show you more later on. But before that, let's talk a bit about our EU Tech Smart City Council. First of all, we have a strategic partner, and I'm very happy to be here today with Peter Chan, who is the president of the World Smart Cities Forum. We also have in our Smart City Council, we have the board. Hauke Drolson is board member, and we have a coordinator, this is Dominic Johnson. Let me show you a quick video. I hope the sound is working about what we do with the Smart City Council. So I hope this gave you a little update what we are doing. What are the cities in Europe which are trying to become smart cities, and what are we doing there? For example, Barcelona, Paris, and Amsterdam are all cities which are working on smartness. They use various technologies. For example, in Barcelona, we have energy efficiency and mobility is very hot. We also have big data. In Paris, we have the ICT, and safety and security is very crucial, especially safety and security. You can imagine with all the attacks happened. This is very, very important to have a smart city. And in Amsterdam, it's all about mobility and transportation and energy efficiency. But many, many other cities in Europe are trying to become smart, and there's a lot of technologies for smartness. I can hear some background noises now. I think someone in the panel, maybe Peter, you can put everybody on mute. Wonderful, thank you. And many other cities where we can work. So what do we do with those cities? And what can we, I'm a bit confused now from the background noises, to be honest. Maybe to the moderator, if we can put everybody on mute. Yes, wonderful. It was Mr. Van Beers. Now we move ahead. So what do we do, and what is our cooperation? Well, first of all, we believe that to make smart cities, you need technology and you need companies. You need the people to really create a smart city. And to bring those people into the cities, EU Tech Chamber has created a program, a so-called EU Tech Center program. So our chamber has these EU Tech Centers we are bringing worldwide, which are hosting European technology companies. So how does it look like? Currently, we have 4 of these EU Tech Centers, as we call them. These are soft landing zones in the most interesting markets around the world. And every year for these 4 centers, we are choosing 30 companies for each center. So 4 times 30, 120 companies landing in these different regions, these smart cities. And we choose those companies based, of course, on market potential, how their companies can help in order to make these cities successful, about their tech strength, how innovative are they, and how strong can they do global expansion. And last but not least, competitiveness, how they can help, of course, Europe to strengthen. We are the European Technology Chamber, and we work hand in hand with smart cities around the world and with Peter Jan, in order to bring those European companies into those, we call them incubators, to make European companies expand and helping cities become smart. So if you have questions on this, feel free to reach out to us, feel free to reach out to Peter, happy to support you. So let's move ahead to the next slide and talk a bit about our virtual center. The virtual center is an idea we have launched, which is about helping European companies be competitive and bringing all our activities in a sustainable way into this virtual building. So what we have a library, we have our online events, we have our conference areas, and all of this in a virtual building under technology.eu. And I really invite you to come over and check it out and see this virtual center with your own eyes and develop it and join us. And I believe that Peter and us, we are going to have many, many, many events in the future in this virtual center. And the beauty is that we combine such discussions as we do right now on Zoom together with real life exhibitions to make companies cooperate and exchange ideas. End of the day, it's all about the matching. And when you land on technology.eu, you will see this. It's just started last week. It's just live now. So don't expect too many things yet. It's all coming up over the next 6 months, but it's beautiful. I know that I still have around 2 minutes to talk. So before I'm coming to the end, let me ask you again, join European Technology Chamber and Peter's initiative to connect with European technology companies, and let's work together to make these cities smarter, to use technologies for the benefit of mankind, based on our vision that technology obliges, or in other words, with great technology comes great responsibility. And those of you who are interested in this, please feel free to stay in touch, connect me. I love LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out on LinkedIn to me if you have questions. Happy to connect with you. And that's it for today. Peter, thanks so much for having me here. thank you to the World Smart City Forum for working with us and being our strategic partner here.
Thank you very much, Florian. So I appreciate your amazing presentations and about the, we just learned much better about your vision and insights, what you're trying to do. And of course, and from my end, it's actually a pleasure to collaborate with the Tech Chamber to, for the future projects, and also working on the smart city projects and also other events as well. So now we'd like to introduce, from the UK government, Mr. Sam Oot. He's the Deputy Consul General, and also he's from the designated Ho Chi Minh City and DIT Director of Vietnam. So I'd like to welcome Mr. Sam Oot, and he's going to actually talk about, the remarks, the opening remarks and the congratulatory remarks. Thank you.
Great, many thanks, Peter, and hopefully you can hear me clearly this time. Great. Well, thank you for those remarks, and thank you, Florian, for that very interesting presentation, much of which very chimes with where we are in terms of the UK government based out here in Vietnam and our priorities. So it was really, really exciting to see that and see your focus. It's worth maybe just touching on our sort of broader relationship. We have seen a very rapid growth in our bilateral trade with Vietnam over the last 10 years, and we have a very exciting context this year in which to further strengthen that relationship with the signing of the UK-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement. And we really see collaboration in technologies, in innovation, and in our wider tech partnerships as really central to that relationship. So it's a priority area for us, and you'll be hearing from our very capable tech sector lead shortly as well. So it's a really exciting time for us to be here and to be working on this agenda. And as the Department for International Trade, we are really focused on making sure that UK expertise and UK tech has proper access to the market here and looking to build those partnerships. So we are very much on hand to support with those introductions. And the wider context for all of this is a really exciting economic story. I've been in post for about a year, and it's obviously been a very challenging global context, but Vietnam's resilience within that has been astonishing. 2.8% growth in 2020, despite the wider global context, is really impressive. And it's been technology has been one of the strongest elements of that success story. Vietnam has one of the fastest growing startup scenes. It has a really rapidly expanding digital economy that even overtook Singapore's last year in terms of startup investment. So it's really at the forefront regionally in terms of tech, in terms of digital. And we see that as something that chimes really strongly with where the UK can offer expertise. We have a very strong digital economy, and we also are applying technology in innovative ways right across our economy and right across all our sectors, whether that's from healthcare to financial services to construction, but increasingly to urban planning, to smart cities. And as has been mentioned, Florian, you set out very clearly what the need is for this and what the objectives are. And Vietnam has a real need for innovative approaches to cities and to urban planning. I think one thing that last year exposed was the potential risks of overcrowded urban areas and what that can obviously mean in terms of the pandemic. So it will be really critical that innovation is applied as cities become more crowded and population growth continues to swell. And the forecasts obviously here in Vietnam are quite spectacular, with around another 30 million by 2050. So Hanoi is set to suffer if these kinds of strategies aren't deployed effectively. So it's really exciting that the UK is working with Vietnam on this, and Hoang Kiem is a particularly exciting project. So glad to see the collaboration that's already happening. I suppose one other thing to touch on, Florian mentioned sustainability, and again, the real focus for us, particularly this year ahead of the climate summit that we're looking forward to hosting in Glasgow in November. So that's a real priority for us in terms, again, of our relationship here, but more broadly a real global focus for the UK government. So completely agree with Florian's rationale there as well. So I think it's a really exciting session, and it's a really well timed. I'm really pleased to see how closely the World Smart City Forum and XnTREE have been working together on this. Really glad that collaboration is well underway. So I'll pause there really. I mean, the main thing today is to hear from the experts about how these approaches can be deployed in innovative ways, and really looking forward to listening in on that discussion. So many thanks for the opportunity to speak. And as I said at the start, we are really on hand to support with introductions in market. So please reach out to me, reach out to Fee, our tech lead as well, if we can offer any support there. But thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much, Sam. It's very nice to hear from your end, and I really appreciate your remarks. Basically, the World Smart Cities Forum, XnTREE, are the UK-based startup. The organizations, and to support global smart city initiatives now. And we are actually focusing on Hoan Kiem district in Hanoi as one of the projects with the government of Hanoi. But we also pretty much open to other development projects in other regions and cities in Vietnam, because the Prime Minister's office, they already made official announcement 2 years ago to build the smart city projects and initiatives, the entire nation to be, moving on to the next level or next the phase of the national economy, and also the mindset and everything. So they defined 4 cities in Vietnam. Of course, Hanoi is one of them. Ho Chi Minh City and Can Tho and Da Nang. The 4 major cities are actually target as a kind of top tier group of the cities of Vietnam to be developed with the smart city projects. But I see that a lot of opportunities, because the role of Vietnam, the way of the importance of economy and diplomatic gestures from Vietnam, dealing with the ASEAN nations and also the Pacific, the nations for the future collaboration is very important. So we see that a lot of the potentials and maybe future development. Probably we have a very strong belief that Vietnam can deliver a very important role. So we look forward to the close collaborations in the future with DIT and also the SAMUD, and thank you very much for your attendance for today. Thank you. And now, Fee, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, Peter.
Yep. So so you are actually 10 minutes up.
All right, so can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry about that. Let me try to turn my volume up a little bit, and then I can share screen. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time today, and thank you as well to Peter for the opportunity and the XnTREE team for setting this up. My name is Phi, so I'm looking after the technology portfolio for the UK's Department for International Trade in Vietnam. So I'm very glad to be here today, which I'll be talking about 4 areas. So first is that I will give you an overview of Vietnam. Second is about the country technology landscape. Third is smart city, and finally the UK and Vietnam partnerships, with some information about the UK and Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, which is very similar to the EU-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement that companies from the EU can relate to. During my speech, please feel free to interrupt if you have any questions, and there will be a little bit of room for Q&A in the end as well. So without further ado, we are going to the first part about an overview on Vietnam. So first thing is geography. If you look at Vietnam right here, you can see that we are in the middle of Southeast Asia. To the north is China. To the west is Cambodia in the bottom and Laos on top. To the south and east is the South China Sea. So that gives Vietnam a very good maritime advantages of being very close to the Straits of Malacca. That accounts for 25 to 30% of the world total trade volume. Through this, you can access the Indian Ocean and then trade with the Middle East as well. Also, easy access to the Pacific Ocean. Another notable point is that Vietnam is very close to China. We indeed share a borderlines right here and a coastline. And the trade relations between the two countries is deeply rooted. China is Vietnam's largest trading partners. With the ASEAN and China free trade agreements on hand. So gives advantages in sourcing products from or shifting away from China to Vietnam and vice versa. From a geopolitical standpoint, Vietnam has been maintaining a neutral relationship with the US, which was a little bit fluctuated at the end of the Trump administrations. However, restored to stability in the Biden administration, and we can trust that it will remain at least from the short to medium term. In terms of GDP growth, I think Sam has mentioned, but it is a remarkable story. The government has been aiming at 6.5 to 7% every year and very consistently. For 2020, we experienced 2.8 to 3% growth, dipped in half compared to other years, but these figures remain to be one of the highest in the region, but not to mention globally. So GDP growth means more opportunities across, attracts more capitals, and drives a lot of positive outcomes for businesses. So every year, 2 to 3 million Vietnamese people join the labor force to ensure at least 5% economic growth, and that leads us to Vietnam's remarkable demographic story. So the country is undergoing what is usually called the golden demographics. More younger people means more demand. And a 25 years old have different economic activities than a 50 years old. So because they are new to the workforce, right? So they have this new cash resources as disposable, and they demand better infrastructures, retails, driving retails. They want to buy all the fancy electronic device, mobile phone, and they want to be financially included to buy more expensive things like real estate. So if you look internationally, history proves that countries with golden demographics will grow, like the story in demographic change in Thailand that decreased the size of the workforce, that condensed the GDP growth in the end right here, 4.1%. In terms of globalization agenda, Vietnam provides more imperatives for companies to improve themselves, but also very active in negotiating free trade agreements. Free trade agreements this day means more than just trade, especially in the newer version of trade agreements. So they reflect Vietnam's commitment to business reforms, facilitating market access barriers, and open to foreign businesses. Moving over to the Vietnam technology landscape, we are having 58,000 companies in the ICT industry in 2020, and that is double than in 2016. So these companies drive a total revenue of 126 billion USD in 2020. But please note that around 80% to 85% of this was by FDI businesses. So for example, companies like Samsung, like LG, like Intel, they have factories in Vietnam, right? So they do making electronic device that accounts for around 30% of the total national export. And the remaining 15 to 20% is domestic activities with companies providing IT services, IT advisory, system integrations, software and hardware infrastructure. High internet penetrations, high mobile phone penetrations have led to an increase in the digital economy. So you can see that only Indonesia right here and only Vietnam have double-digit growth in the internet economies in 2020. So because of two reasons. The first thing is, of course, high population, but also the demographic story. FinTech in Vietnam is also very worth mentioning, especially with two things. First is the mobile money pilot projects. The second thing is the upcoming FinTech sandbox. So mobile money means a lot for Vietnam, but perhaps startup like SmartPay is more well positioned to speak about this. However, the headline is that a large amount of the population will be financially included. Because when you think about the smartphone penetration rate in Vietnam is 45%, I mean almost 1 in 2 people have a smartphone. However, 65% of the population is underbanked. So mobile money helps reach a large part of the population who was not able to access financial institutions, but do have a smartphone. These people will have better access to e-commerce and retailers. Transactions now can be done instantly and effortless, so they don't even need a POS system. All we need is a smartphone scanning a barcode from a smartphone and we're good to go. The FinTech Sandbox, the second thing, we provide a guidelines framework for FinTech businesses in Vietnam. So that will help to encourage innovations and limit intransparency. FinTech companies will be more confident operating in the market rather than in a gray zone than before. Because they were operating without knowing their products or services are legal or not. We don't even have a clear guidelines. So moving to smart cities in Vietnam, the central, local, and municipal government have different roles in smart cities in Vietnam. So while the central government only provides guidance and studies and guidelines, the local government determines the smart city plans and implements them. So you can see on the right-hand side here is a non-exhaustive list of smart city projects. So this is part of a newer report that is called the Smart City Handbook Vietnam that was made by the wonderful team at Arab Advisory and Brains and Partners. Major projects in Vietnam are in these 3 cities, Hanoi, Da Nang, and Ho Chi Minh City. However, 63 different local and municipal authorities in Vietnam has announced different smart city development plans. And I think like Peter has mentioned in his speech, these cities can build on different models as well with different focus. Because for example, when you look at Ho Chi Minh City, right, you can see they build the smart city plans based on the challenges the city is having. However, when you look at Hanoi or when you look at Bình Dương just on top of Ho Chi Minh City here, they have a different approach. They may focus on innovations and startups. I think we do have startups today from Bình Dương that bike. If you're here, congratulations on your latest and very successful round of funding. I'm sorry, one last point I want to mention is that in terms of implementations, so partnerships is key. So each of every project list here pretty much came from different stakeholders. Some partnerships are of the public sectors, private sectors involving local and international suppliers. Some provide the accessibility, some provide the environment to pilot, some provide hardware or the software, so it varies. I always recommend to work with a wide range of companies. So finally, UK and Vietnam partnerships, like Sam just mentioned, we've been enjoying a very close diplomatic relationships for over 40 years. So last year marked a milestone when we signed the UK and Vietnam Free Trade Agreement. Some headlines are: first, the agreement liberalized 61% of UK exports of machinery and appliance at entry into force. Another is that Vietnam commits to liberalize all computer and related services covered by the World Trade Organization CBC 84, which is huge. So that offers suppliers a wide choice of providing computer services in Vietnam. The agreement also recognized the use of electronic means to conduct business and prohibit custom duties on electronic transmissions. So it creates a lot of advantage for UK companies to access the Vietnam market while providing a measure to facilitate barriers. So UK companies in Vietnam have another resources to utilize is the UK-Vietnam Joint Economic and Trade Commissions called JETCO to identify and address issues relating to bilateral trade and investment between the UK and Vietnam. In terms of the challenges, cybersecurity, data protection law, I think the general theme is the general theme from foreign nation as well. So when working with local customers, you must be aware that your software is on-premise software. SAS, are you using like a cloud computing services like Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services? Another problem is about business fairness as well, because companies like Facebook and YouTube has been utilizing the Vietnamese market without having a legal entity in Vietnam. So that's why the government can tax them. That can create huge unfairness for local companies. In transparency, things may not always be as straightforward as it's supposed to be. Sometimes you have to find the right person to navigate through the ecosystem. And that's why we always recommend to work with a local partners. Big foreign companies here like Intel, like Grab, like Shopee, like Lazada in Vietnam, they have a very huge team of Vietnamese. So that is the end of my presentations. Please feel free to reach out to me if you need any clarifications. If you are UK companies, then I can see how can I help. But if you are not UK companies or having relationships with the UK, we can work something out by incorporate UK elements. I'm a strong believer in long-term partnerships, inclusions, and win-win collaborations. So please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Phi. It was very informative presentations, and we love it. Of course, the UK government and the DIT is very collaborative and supported, in a way of the bringing the better ecosystem of innovation in Vietnam. So that's one of the purposes that we are doing right now. So that's why we have the strategic partnerships with the DIT to build up the innovation in small cities in Vietnam. So I think that we can do something much better throughout this platform. Phi, thank you very much again. Can you close your presentation file on the screen, please?
Oh yes. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's good. So now it's time for listening and also the figuring out what kind of startups on the lineup for today for their pitching. So before we're just doing so, let's introduce the list of the panel and also the judges. So we have the Osman. I think that, can you actually just briefly, just few comments on who you are and just a little remarks?
Of course. So I'm Otman Zrikam. I'm co-founder and chief data officer at AO PropTech, with the largest PropTech venture capital firm in Europe, with the 250 million euro fund. We invest across all stages, from pretty much seed to pre-IPO. And we are looking at companies around the world. So that would be Europe, US, North America, as well as Asia.
Wonderful, thank you. And Boss, are you there? All right, just waiting for him now. And Selena, you better just go next.
So hi everyone. So this is Selena. I'm a founder and CEO of WSAFE, an impact venture builder. We focus on high tech and deep tech for climate environment. And nice to see you, and exciting to hear more of the pitching tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Amir.
I was on mute. Hi, everyone. I am Amir Gutman. I'm the founder and managing partner of Aviv Venture Capital. We are a venture capital fund based in Tel Aviv, in Israel. We invest in deep technologies, machine vision, semiconductors, and the like.
Thank you very much. Mr. Park, can you introduce yourself quick?
Yes, hello everyone. This is Moon Park at XnTREE, and I'm in charge of Center of Excellence for digital transformation. Easily speaking, I'm doing projects such as smart city, smart factory, and smart farm, any smart X projects with metabolism completion. So yeah, nice to be here and happy to participate.
Thank you very much. Elliot, are you there?
Hey everyone, Elliot Chun here. I lead Emergence. We are strategic partners for early stage companies, seed to Series B, that are leveraging some emerging technology, which is blockchain, AI, IoT, AR, VR, to solve for some critical environmental, social, or financial issue. And we help with capital raising, strategic M&A advisory, and business development. Looking forward to, and Colin here from New York this time.
Thank you, Elliot. Been a long time. Also, I think the boss is actually not here. When he comes back, I think maybe I can just give him just a little time for his introduction. So the format of presentation is very simple thing. We have 5 startups lined up for today. So each startup, they spend 8 minutes speech. They can share their screen. You can share the screen here using your presentation deck. And also we have 7 minutes each for the questions and answers and feedback. So we have 6 judges here for today to support you. And if they have any specific questions, you can anytime after the presentation, you can actually ask them a specific question from your end. The purpose of actually doing this one is we already started with Tech Sandbox of Hanoi Smart City already since January. So this core program, the first cohort started already until the end of January next year. In the meantime, we are actually going through the Open Tech Week, Open Tech Day, bi-weekly basis. We just plan to do it at least by the end of this year. But in the meantime, from the beginning of October, we are inviting the top tier startups, not only from Vietnam, but also the international. Then they will be invited to Tech Sandbox, a small city in Hanoi, and there'll be a final group of the candidates. They can actually be playing a role in terms of the validating their solutions and technologies and services that the committee members of this small city projects will be finally choose the final winners. So about 100 companies will be final candidates as a member of the Tech Sandbox in the beginning of October. So we'll actually select about 30% out of the whole candidates, probably maybe the first quarter of 2022. They'll be actually signing the contract between us and the city government of Hanoi. It will be, generate the revenue and also grant recognition throughout this platform. Then we'll be also the, picking up some of the companies, the funded with some disinvestment. So this is a good opportunities. But I know this is actually really, competitive. But we are still open to as many as startups around the world to be involved in this smart city initiatives anyway. So you might have more chances to be pitching because this might be the first time to be pitched. But if we like some of the startups here today, tomorrow, then we can actually re-invite you, some of the startups, to be another chance to be pitching throughout the Open Tech Week, Open Tech Day, or other relevant events, and to be, promoting the startups in terms of this projects. Okay. If you have any questions, please let me know. And if you're ready, then. So we have the first candidate startup for today is Cloud Energy. So it's FEM, right?
Yes,
so
it's me.
If you're ready, just let me know.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, so can you share the your presentation deck? Yes. So I'll be actually counting the time. So you are now, you can start anytime, just let me know.
I have to.
Yeah, so everything is ready, just let me know, then I can count for 80 minutes.
Just 1 second, because I think I need to I have to reopen the security reference. Sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of difficult parts. All right. So until we have him, then okay. From judges, do you have any questions? I think that I just like share all the scorecard evaluations, and you can just check it, the kind of the numbering in the scorecard. And I appreciate if you actually just send back to me. Then I can actually organize them again. Right?
Okay.
Please, yeah, please make sure that you have to write down the name of the company on the top, because it's all blank.
Okay, hi, can you guys see my screen yet?
Yep, so now let's get started. You go ahead now.
Hi everyone, my name is Tung An. I'm represent for Cloud Energy, and we are focused on the energy management for smart city. So we're going through introduction of the company, the solution, and what is the problem that we're solving, especially focus on the energy efficiency. What is our business model, and where we are at the moment. So actually my background is, family background is we have one or two company doing trading and investing in water equipment and water treatment facility. So I have the idea, long idea of a long time in thinking of how I'm going to sell the smart water meter, but it's required connectivity and software. So 2018, I partnered up with a friend from Australia. He's the IT manager from Deloitte, and he come back to Vietnam, and we start a company in 2019. We established Cloud Water, and we create the software and the solution for smart water metering. 2019, we figured out the water business in Vietnam is a bit slow, and there are a lot more potential with the electricity. So we changed the name to Cloud Energy, and we have a couple contract and also demo pilot with the local utility, local water utility, and local electricity. This year we're rolling out, and we just won the top 10 finalists of Wacom Vietnam Innovation Challenge. Also won the Speed Up program of Department of Science and Technology in Ho Chi Minh City. So our problem is about the efficiency energy. So the world is on a mission of reducing energy waste. Building and city need to be greener. So we're talking about Industry 4.0. And the four key points is scalability, data analytics, standardization, and interoperability. These four things is important because later on it related very important to our solution. The problem to solve is, so we figure out if investor, owner, manager of a multi-different project, either solar, building, or factory, using the different brand of equipment, SCADA, and software, how can they build and display own data on a platform? How can they do a standardized ability to read all and provide own data and deep analysis to find the optimal and scalable operation process? So question to be answered, like how much energy used per guest for hotel, per square meter, comparison across 3-4 factor, temperature, what's the energy efficiency of HVAC? Is it the time to management, the maintenance yet? On so on, so on. So all about the optimized operation and energy saving cost. That is what we are focused on, helping our client to answer those invisible problems provided by data analytics. So this is our solution. 2019, we're able to connect with water meter. 2020, we're able to connect with electricity meter, inverter. And then now we're able to connect with flow meter, pressure sensor, and we're going to do more with HVAC and temperature and other sensor as well. So our products is the hardware and software integrated solution. So that is number 2, and number 5 is our device connect to all of the standard, the normal electric equipment, and able to read onto the data server and analyzing our application. So application, we are focused on 3 main points. Is the building, either it's office or service apartment, bank range, or shopping mall. Factory, we focus on solar farm especially. Utility, we're working with the local water utility in Ho Chi Minh City, in An Giang and Bình Dương. And also we are asking EVN, electric utility in Ho Chi Minh City, to do a demo with us because we won the award with the speed up of Ho Chi Minh City. So they're helping us to talk to EVN, and we're working with them on a specific small demo program in Ho Chi Minh City for smart electric metering. So the benefit of our solution is cost saving from upgrade to smart city because you don't have to change the whole new meter. You can monitor the energy, you can have the data analysis and provide cross-reference, meaning of all of the device can read and talk to each other. And those data is very important to analyze between the sensor, between the metering. So that's why we can simplify and optimize the operations process for business and to be able to scale up. So we have one co-working space, one resident area, and one service apartment, one solar project. That is the first wireless solar monitoring. So we only do the part of the monitoring, energy monitoring of the solar. We are working with 5 local water utility at the moment, 2 pilot, Bình Dương and An Giang. We have installed 2 small water treatment plant module just to read and to able to learning the data for the last 2 or 3 months. So Ho Chi Minh City, we're working with them at the moment to propose a demo. Our business model is hardware, software as a service. So the market will be 40 million electricity in water meter in Vietnam, and probably estimate about 4 billion. Our business model, we're thinking of charging $2 per device for connectivity and software. That's what we are thinking of. So we actually, we've done the proof of products. We're now on the proof of revenue and scaling up. And yep, thank you for listening. That's all for my present.
Okay, so we are ready. If there's any questions from the judging group, please.
I have a quick question on my end. What is the next market you would like to target once you have deployed, let's say at scale, your solution in several cities in Vietnam?
The thing is we try to do smart metering, especially for water. We've done, you can see this is our demo in An Giang. We have smart metering for water, but the problem with smart city in Vietnam for water is the water tariff is too low. It's like $10 per bill. You cannot asking the government to pay $100 or $200 for smart metering for water, and then collecting like $10 or $20 per bill. So we are focusing on the smart electricity for office, building, bank branch, where they want to manage their energy efficiently. So let's say one bank branch office, if they want to save the cost for the bank, we can connect our electricity meter into the HVAC, the lighting, or by floor or by function, and we can data analyzing and how we can help them to save the energy.
I know that we're talking about smart cities and everything is smart here, smart energy, but can you explain to me what is smart? Because do you have a type of an algorithm that is proprietary algorithm that only you have it and you provide this value add in terms of how to analyze the data, or can you elaborate on this?
At the moment, from the software side, we don't have, we are very early at the beginning of data analytics because we just start installing in the 3 buildings for electric city, and we start collecting data, analyzing it. So we don't have any advanced algorithm or any specific software or data analytics yet. So we try working on it at the moment. So what we are doing at the moment, the reason why we got the Wacom award is because our hardware device, which we can read on the normal. So you see, most of the electricity device, they have the RS485 port, which we can connect to them and read any type or any brand of equipment. And that's why we can standardize. And one of our clients at the moment is SkyX Solar. They said they have like 30 megawatt of project and different brand of Huawei inverter, ABB, and so on. And how can they want to have a unified platform data? How can they read all of them within one software? So the device can read from the different inverter to read the data and transfer back to their platform, able so that they can start analyzing the data. So that's the key at the moment.
So basically, you provide the enabling technology that after you put it in place, you or somebody else will be able to come and build the smart technology to analyze the data.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I have a questions. Can you share your team?
Yes.
Do you have any slide? Yeah, please.
1 second.
Yeah, please introduce.
Yep. So this is me at the moment. I'm the CEO. Normally I have another partner, the co-founder. He actually in Australia now because of COVID. So for this slide, I couldn't put him in at the moment. So he's temporarily off from the team for several months already. And then we have the Tony. Tony is the head of the technology. He actually working for VNG before. And he's been connecting all of our device, hardware, and software team. He's the key member from my side. And we have 2 more software developer and 1 hardware engineer to support us. And we most of the time, we just partnering with, we actually at the moment partnering with a lot of company outside. For example, for smart building analytics, we partner with Hack Experience, who done like in France, they done 800 Accor hotel. So we actually partner with them to learning about data analytics from their side as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Tam. You had mentioned kind of cloud energy. You started in water and then you transitioned to air and energy. So water, air, and that's pretty broad, and that's a tough focus for early stage companies. Is there one in particular area that you're focusing on?
Yes, water. I'm here mean water utility, water metering. This, as you can see from my screen, this is one of the demo with the local water utility. We actually have 45 meter installing for the local utility here. So able to read all of the consumption of the household every hour, and we can detect the leakage or abnormality consumption. So that is, yep. So mostly main focus is on smart metering for water as well as electricity.
And then when you think about, you have 2 components. You have the hardware component and the software component. Yes. Is the hardware component the CE device? Is that different from water to air to energy, or is that the same device?
Yes, you can see the equipment on the left-hand side. Let's say if the smart water meter is the top one, that already embed the LoRa technology, so you don't need the CE device. But we learn how to connect, master the LB1 technology, include LoRaWAN, connectivity, and put on our app. But for example, electricity meter, if you change all of the electricity meter in Vietnam, 20 million meter, And if you change on to smart meter, you have to replace all of the old one. But if you use our device, you just plug and play into the existing electric meter. Our device, it costs a lot less than a whole new smart metering. So that can save a lot of money. Our device can also connect to inverter for solar project, can connect to the Siemens flow meter, and can read the data consumption and transfer the data to the app and cloud server.
Okay. And
we have done
what's the manufacturing process for the hardware devices?
For the hardware device, we actually design it and get the support from a local manufacturer in District 9, the high-tech industrial park.
And then, thank you. And then finally, one last question. You mentioned on the last slide that you're now in the revenue stage. Can you talk a little bit about where you are currently in terms of how much revenue you're generating and what your projections are?
So at the moment we are generating, because we do subscription. So normally we sign a contract, 5 years contract, because each water meter or electricity meter in Vietnam, they have a 5-year. You have to do the adjustment for the measurement. So we sign the contract every 5 years. Every contract is 5 years. So at the moment, our revenue is estimated about 150,000 US dollar. And we get funded by Zone Startup and Zone Startup Venture. Together, they got the Vina Capital Venture through Zone Startup to invest into us. And we under the Wacom incubation program.
And then last one, you had mentioned there are 3 buyers of your product. It was buildings, factories, and I'm forgetting the third one. Of those, which one was it?
The government, the local government.
Oh, the government, right. So of those 3, is there a focus on one of those 3 that you're going after right now?
At the moment, I started water from the very early 2019, but we just start doing pilot only. After do a few market adjustment, fit adjustment, now our device can connect to one of the Siemens water meter in Vietnam. They can help to monitor all of the pipeline network at a much cheaper price compared to data logger. So that is where we're growing out at the moment with the water utility, rather than the small metering for the household. So we're rolling out for the pipeline network monitoring and management for the water utility.
Okay, more questions? Elliot, are you done?
I am, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? All right, if you don't have it, so let's just, just finish it. Thank you very much again for your presentation. I think that is really, really great in terms of the, your solutions and technologies, and probably maybe a good fit to the, part of the smart city in Hanoi, because water and environments data is actually one of the big thing that we actually designing a master plan. So maybe, that will be actually one of the good sources that we can actually maybe connect with. Hopefully we can actually keep in touch with you. Okay. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much.
All right. So next contestants, MMM. So who's there now?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, if you're ready, if you just share the screen of your presentation deck, then just let me know. And
I'm doing. Can you see my screen?
Just hang on a second. Yep. All right, so we can go now.
Okay, thank you. I would like to start by one video.
Is there any kind of
Kimi, can you hear my voice about in video? Or maybe I don't have a
sound.
Okay, I play again. Sorry.
Scarcity of
Can you
clean
hear
water
sound?
is becoming more and more serious in developing cities, while water energy management system efficiency traditional methods by manual. Residents do not know the water electricity index by date. Indicators with eye are easy to confuse. No real-time monitoring or data statistics. No detection the loss of water, electricity, and cannot predict demand in the future. Hello, my name is Công Nguyễn from Multimeter Machine. We create new smart things to solve problem, wasted water and energy. Device could read all the water, electricity, and gas indicators on the all available meters without interfering to the current meters. If you enjoy our journey, say water energy, say us. We love to contact. Thank you.
Okay, now to my slide. Hello, my name is Công Nguyễn from Multimeter Machine. Say water energy, say us. As we know, 63 million people in the world live without clean water, while non-revenue water about 28.1%. CO2 emission from electricity generation factor double in many years. While traditional meter by manual indicator with eye are easy to confuse, low real-time monitoring or data statistics, no detection the loss of water, electricity. Residents do not know the water electricity index by date. Beyond OSHA ambient intelligence, we external event, automatic sensing, and automatic action. Firstly, we visualize the status. Secondly, anomaly detection. And thirdly, we improve with index bringing instant alert. We IoT solution have to saving water and electricity non-intervention solution. We have a $28.6 billion to 2025. Our target save approximately 7 kPCS per year. Big play losses. Our targeted customer group: farming and ranching in agriculture, utility company, manufacturing, house owner for rent, and real estate company. Our competition with the other smart meter, MMM not intervene current system. One device for water, electricity, and gas, price under $30. The design of an add-on has an easy to remove advantage, which is cheaper than interfering or replacing the meter. Presently, there are no device could read all the water, electricity, and gas indicator on all available meters without interfering to the current meter. And we will intend to blockchain to score reward for energy saving. We expect to redefine energy consumption behavior. We also Vietnam patent number, and we plan to register up to in this year. This is our milestone. We will mass product about 50k pieces per year in the next year. Our revenue model from sale product, subscription, score reward for energy saving, exchange score reward, affiliate with e-commerce payment platform, and our sales channel focus on water electricity supply company, water electricity meter supply company, farming, real estate, solar, manufacturing, and e-commerce. To make sure we can reduce risk, we will focus monitor KPI in 3 steps: acquisition, retention, and churn. With our plan, we will have a profit from next 2 years. And in the next 5 to 10 years, we expect to become Vietnamese leader in smart meter technology and expand to ASEAN market of much bigger size. Now we fundraising to 6.3K in 1 year to upgrade our revenue to 6.3 million after 3 years. Funding you focus for sales, marketing, R&D, and IP. We also success with the Sumitomo Dry technology in Hanoi Thăng Long Industry Park. We help them monitor water in production. And we also success step 1 with the Hải Phòng water in Hải Phòng city. Our team have experience in outsourcing service, and myself have 17 years of experience in implementing IT solutions for foreigner corporation. And I also have 10 years of startup and innovating in IT solution, have won a number of awards. Thank our mentor, help us to next level, have to go to market global. Say water energy, say us. Thank you. Okay, I finished my slides.
Thank you very much. Now it's time for the questions and answers from the judges.
Hi, Kong. From a, you said you had, I saw on the slide you had created 2,000 pieces and then you're moving to 5,000 pieces. Can you talk about the process from making those pieces, then installing them, and then how quickly you generate revenue from that process?
We create revenue from sale product and subscription. Can you see here this is our revenue model? Our product hardware have a cheap price because we R&D and design our hardware, and we have an algorithm have OCR can operate on no performance hardware. You can see here we start from 2017, and we also have registered patent in Vietnam, and we waiting to approve. Maybe in this month we will have approved from Vietnam. Okay.
So once you install one of these pieces, who starts paying you and how quickly do they start paying you? How long does it take to install it? And then how quickly are groups able to start paying you for service?
We will partner with we affiliate with our partner. For example, we focus on real estate company to deploy. In the first step, we will focus in real estate company and utility company to scale our solution. And now we negotiate with some utility water in north of Vietnam to deploy pilot.
I think, yeah, okay. Selena, do you have any specific question? Okay, Osman?
Questions? I have questions. Thank you for presentation, and I know that energy and water is relevant to government, so it's not easy for any startup to to grow and to develop. And it's great to see that you already filed patent. My question is the revenue growing. So you target on real tech company, and can you come back again with the list of target? And the 4 to 3 years, my questions, 4 to 3 years, come back with the business model.
Our business model win.
Yeah, your main partner. Yeah, this one. Okay, this okay. So the main customer and player, that is still the user. The whole house, right? The whole house.
Yes.
Yeah, the whole house. Yes, every whole house. So right now you are working on with real estate companies. And what about the government? Because like the governments, they are on the hand on the waters, and even it's like Novaland or Vinrup, right? They still a lot of things going on with the government when in terms of water and energy. So how you do and how to take over, their market, their potential market, because when we put any investment on this, it means you have to deal well with government issue. So please.
Actually, as you said, with startup, we very difficult to make relationship with the government. So we have to step by step with government. We in the first step we affiliate with water meter production company. They have already water meter in market, and they help us to some their customer. And we also negotiate direct with the Haiphong water company. And in the first step, we succeed with them for OCR solution. And after, as you can see here, now we are doing with them in stage 1 OCR on smartphone first. After step 1 they are done, they will evaluate our solution to pilot 2,000 PCS in the next few months. So it's been very difficult with us to negotiate with the government. So we focus on some water company in the north of Vietnam, and we succeed with one company. So I hope after we succeed in the next step, step 2, we will have a name to PR to other utility company. This is our strategy. So, and also we rồi apply many competitor contact to PR to help us given our name to our target customer. So it's the reason why we join a lot of contact to help us to PR. It's our strategy.
Yeah, thank you for the explanation.
Yes, thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah, Peter. Thank you, Kong, for your presentation. I had just two quick questions. One is about your level of funding right now. How much did you raise, if you have raised? And the second question is about how do you intend to scale the different parts of your product and basically go into 50,000 pieces, I guess, in 2022?
As you can see here in my screen, now we are fundraising 260K for expect to upgrade our revenue to 6.3 million after 3 years. We will focus for sales and marketing and continue R&D. And
So
about scale revenue.
Just to be more specific, I meant how much have you raised so far, not what do you intend to raise, but how much have you raised?
Actually, we self fundraising by ourselves because we have some success with some program, for example, Qualcomm, AVSE, and New Energy Nexus. So, and we not that fund from investor. We almost from ourselves and from
okay, so you bootstrapped
Qualcomm, AVSE, New Energy.
Okay, and regarding the scaling of the production of your product, so going from 5K to 50K.
We outset to 5 years. You can see here, we expect to mass product in the next year about 50K PCS per year.
Yeah, and where would you like to produce this? Would you like to have your facility? You have agreements with different suppliers? Is it in Vietnam? Is it in China? How do you look at this?
Actually, we based on our current customer. As I presented, we have a customer in Hải Phòng Water Company. We are dealing with them 2K PCS to pilot in the next few months after stage 1 finish. So we based on estimate from Vietnam market. So we make our plan production 50K PCS per year. It means we based on statistic market from Hải Phòng Water Company. We deal with them to estimate our production.
Okay, thank you.
Can you double check? I'm sorry. Any more questions? So Kong, I think that you just did a great job presenting your solutions. I think that is very interesting presentations. So hope to keep in touch and sooner or later. Okay, thank you very much. We have the last. We're supposed to have the 5 startups for today, but actually 2 startups they actually postponed a little bit. So they might be actually just attending in the next, the Open Tech Day, Open Tech Week. So we have 1 company left, Vital. So I think that they are already here, but they have technical problems to be connected. Are you ready there? Vital? Okay, so seemingly we have some problems to be connected. So I think that we are pretty much done for the day. So from the judges, do you have any specific questions and about everything? Because we have, 1 more day for the startup competition for the Vietnamese local startups. So we have 5 other startups. These actually 8 startups in total. They're actually recommended by the British government and local accelerator. Block 79 in Singapore is actually recommended some of the startups and locally to be highly competitive. So on our schedule, we have a target of 500 startups by the end of September this year. So which means we actually go through these programs bi-weekly basis, and we hopefully have maybe 20% out of the 500 from Vietnam. So, but also just like last time, we also are open to any startups from Europe and the United States and Canada, Israel, UK and South Korea, Singapore. So we are actually have a number of startups lined up to be participating in the Open Tech Week, so that they can be participating in the Hanoi Smart City projects. Besides of that, we are also about to launching the XnTREE Open Tech Week for Ukraine, and also the London, the UK, coming up next. This is just a little announcement for next week. We actually have the Cities ABC Summit and Awards. We giving away $100 million to the cities that we actually choose as one of the best practice, and also industries and startups next week. It's actually 3-day events. So I welcome every judges here, and also any audiences to be a part of the participating in this event next week, which is taking place April 20th and 21st and 22nd. So we inviting the renowned speakers, also the leadership of the government, municipalities, industries they just participating in, to share more insights about the sustainability and the prop tech, digital transformation, and smart cities, and most of the hot topics and agenda to be shared. So it's very meaningful to be joining us. And I think that some of you might be actually speaking during the events next week. So please welcome anytime. If you have any questions in the meantime, just please let me know, or email me, and just send me the text anytime. Hopefully, if Tickle is not ready because they are suffering from technical problems still. Tickle, I think that maybe you can join us tomorrow at the same time, so I can actually give you one more opportunity, because you might have some problems with just logging into the Zoom link at the moment. So let's call it a day. Let's actually just collect some of your point of views and what you actually felt for today. So just briefly, maybe less than 1 minute. Let's begin from Bas. Are you here? He's actually in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. Still not connected. Elliot, can you actually just give us a little comments?
I mean, the two startups focusing on energy and water are essential. Water is our most precious resource on the world, and it's great to see both groups have a component of solving the water problem, and I really appreciate that. So how these young companies, it's good to see that the early stage innovators and entrepreneurs are focusing on really important problems to help us solve for. And that's, we should all feel good about that.
Thank you very much. Amir?
Yeah, I want to take the point that Elliot started, and I think the problem is a real problem that need to be resolved. But when you look at the smart city project, you have two components to the project. One is the infrastructure and the enabling technologies, and the other one is on top of that, you put the algorithms, the data analysis, everything that actually make the data that enable you to make smart decisions in managing the city. And usually, from my experience, it is very, very difficult for startups to compete on the infrastructure because many of those products are, hardware products are already manufactured by large corporations, and the penetration is going to be very, very tough. Startups that are focusing more on the software side and the data analysis side can penetrate easily, are much more scalable, and eventually they need less money actually to scale up because they don't need inventories, production, and all of that. So I think that those startups are going to have a tough time penetrating markets for infrastructure.
Of course. Actually, one of the projects that I was involved in myself and Busan Smart City in South Korea is National Smart City projects, which is still going on, is $3 billion. The water tech and water solutions are one of the major the themes for the smart city projects, which is actually led by the big guys. I mean, water company, the national state-owned companies, and also the the governmental direct kind of control systems. So for startups, it's really, really hard. It's not really easy for them to actually just penetrate into the market, as you said. That's why the reason why we actually just have established a very recent organizations and structure to support any kind of small, medium-sized enterprises or startups to be having the better chances to be in there. Because even though the state-owned company, they just like manage everything, right? So they inviting the solutions and services in terms of the bidding system. So that bidding system can be like shifted to the startup friendly way. That's the one thing that actually we are trying to do. I think that way, maybe in Vietnam, could be a little bit different under our master plan. So that's something that we are looking for, to digging out much more, the better, high potential companies in Vietnam, locally or international. At the same time, we also collaborating with companies. For example, EVN is the Vietnamese largest state-owned company dealing with the electricity and other resources. So, basically the collaboration internationally, that will be the one condition we can build up together. Okay, so Osman, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I think it was really interesting, definitely trying to tackle the infrastructure issue from the water perspective. I think that one of the comments that I did like from the first company was to say that the water saving that was projected was not as big as the cost of the sensor itself, which is sometimes a problem, because I think that the water is not valued at the right level sometimes in the city infrastructure. So definitely some price point positioning there that needs to be addressed at scale in order for people to get more involved in the management of the water resources. I think also there is a interesting path to connect with some of the other solutions that are developing, let's say, more the algorithmic view of those kind of solutions. So I'm familiar with quite a lot of companies who are doing this either in Europe or US when it comes to energy efficiency and HVAC in offices and all of those kind of things. Definitely like the fact that they develop in their own hardware, maybe they can become a platform for addressing this through the software of other companies, and they can partner. So I'm thinking that maybe it's not needed for them to develop everything, because those markets are really difficult to crack, and the sales force is really important, and those relationships that they're building with the local authorities are really interesting. But maybe they need to arbitrate a bit, not to over-invest in some technologies, specifically on the software side, which have been kind of broadly expanded in other markets, and try to find some kind of rev share with some other companies, which would give them just better capacity in order to scale their deployment. So definitely things that they can think about.
Absolutely, you're right. Thank you very much. Boss.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I had some technical issues.
It's okay. So, everybody introduce yourself as the judging group. So can you just briefly,
Yeah, my name is Bas van Beers. I'm the CEO of Empowered. Used to be French, but I started a new company that emphasizes on development of energy in the built environments, also development of built environment itself, because we discovered, and that is something that is important also for this meeting, I think, that if you don't have a position in the building environment yourself, it is very difficult to make business. So if you look at the supply chain of the development of cities, of city development, I mean, of the dwellings, of the buildings, there's no power. And if there's no power, you will be played. So what I discovered for myself for the last few years is that I constantly was making business at the wrong side of the supply chain, of the value chain actually, and was not in position to really influence the game. So a year ago, I started to buy a property myself and also buy lots to develop property. And suddenly everybody is calling me because they want to have a position in my position. So now finally we are making speed. So my biggest advice to the people I just heard is reevaluate your position in the value chain. See if you can make a proposition together with other partners in the value chain that have more power than you, because as long as you're relatively powerless in the value chain, you will be played. You will be just, how do I say this in English? You will be just one field in their Excel sheet. So reevaluate your position, get some partners around and some investors that really understand the value chain of property development instead of energy and services and data, because it's all about property development. And the other thing is that it's very important to be friends with the government, see if you can bend the rules and regulations and subsidies in a way that they make your position in the value chain stronger. Because we did some work in Korea, you know that, Peter. And the biggest problem was the government. Please take care of yourself in the business area to build a position and in the government area to build a position.
You know, believe it or not, the government is one of the biggest obstacles. You know.
Absolutely, absolutely. At the same time, if I look at my business now, I'm a property developer, also working on energy development now. The government is also my biggest friend as long as I solve their problems.
Okay.
So try to solve the problems of the government and you're in business.
Yeah, we definitely talk about more things about the roles of the government administration and innovation. So of course there'll be kind of you know, a little bit sensitive and sophisticated relationship between this kind of triangle. But whenever we're just talking about smart city, the role of the you know, the government and public sector should be defined, right? Because you know, seemingly like developing countries, even developed countries here in the United States, the government is trying to just control everything, right? So, but the meaningful, you know, the schemes of the smart city should be like well-balanced power, right? Just like, you know, public sector and private sector innovation side. So yeah. the great combination between them, that can actually bring the one of the best cases, best practices out of this project. Anyway, so this is actually the role of the planner, the master planning things, and also any kind of specific plans to invite more, you know, high caliber, the organizations and the companies can be, you know, the partner up together in there. So thank you very much. I think that probably maybe next week we can talk more about during the events next week. At the same time, I'll be organizing with Prime Minister's office in Ukraine, because Ukraine is our next project with Vietnam. So Ukrainian government, we are actually working on together. So we are ready to have administrators and the business sector's investments together, the team up. It's actually 2-day events, the May 20th and 21st. I definitely invite you all here. to be a part of, the sharing your insights. The prime minister and other ministers, and they actually come from the Ukrainian government. The good thing about Ukraine, the average age of the ministers is only 33 years old. Can you believe that? 33 years old. So the deputy prime minister himself he was born in 1991. So literally saying that he's only 30 years old. So he's actually entrepreneur himself. So he understands the innovation ecosystems and everywhere. So I think it's kind of good, conditions we can actually open up discussions with the Ukrainian government at the moment. But you never know. Innovators becomes bureaucrats. Bureaucrats are much more conservative. And you never know the end of the story. But the conditions is good, really. The better condition compared to other countries. So, but you will actually have more chances to understand what's going on in Ukraine. Selena, can you just have your remarks?
Yes. So thank you for two team. That amazing. I remember that maybe I talked with the first one like a few years ago about the energy and how to and water. And for my comment and feedback, I don't know if you guys already working with like UNDP and climate change organization and fund. I see on the revenue model and crowdfunding of right funds plan, there's still a lot of things to do because you want to make impacts and profit at the same time, right? So it should be faster in process, and you need a lot of people to have and cooperate. So finance and good team and collaboration. Also working with a lot of chamber in Vietnam. They have a lot of big company, so they can collaborate with you. It's faster and stronger. And also Nordic is very strong about, sustainability. So in my company of position, we can connect and help you guys, to connect closely and deeply with them in terms of professional, finance, also, aware in politics, about this stuff. So thank you so much, and we hope that we can help you and working with you, after this pitching. Thank you, and thank you, Peter, so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I think that you just got the point. I think that most of the cases, even in Europe, we're trying to just do something about this project with the public sectors and as well as private sectors. In Vietnam, we have different strategies. The Vietnam reminds me of South Korea back in 1980s, before Seoul Olympic Games. So everything has really changed because the average 10-year average economic growth rates back then is almost 10%. So each year, South Korean economy is actually changed 10% growth. So actually the Olympic Games was actually highly impacted on the whole thing. But at the same time, the large conglomerates and the largest enterprise in South Korea, such as LG and Hyundai, Samsung and POSCO, these companies actually grow so much, and they actually went global markets right away. I think that actually the same conditions, to Vietnam right now, because we are working together right now as one of the biggest enterprises in Vietnam is called Vingroup. So they actually monopolized in the real estate. They monopolize in the car manufacturing systems like VinFast, and they are also doing the VinSmart initiative. So we're actually working, in the midst of discussions more about the building of this, Hanoi Smart City as one of the part of the urban test bed throughout the Vingroup. And also we are open to the large corporates in Vietnam, also and the medium-sized enterprises, because they're looking for the high tech, or they want to equip the better solutions and better technologies. So they are looking forward to the very close collaborations from overseas. I'm actually trying to take kind of the direct answers from innovative companies, or maybe disruptive the companies with disruptive technologies. So this is the purpose of the Smart City Tech Sandbox we are building up right now. So I think that we can just have very decent collaborative schemes throughout the Hanoi Smart City projects. Okay. Mr. Park, do you have any comments? You are the last one.
Yeah, I expected that because I'm the last one, I should be quite short. Yeah. Anyway, I enjoy the kind of one of the panel, and it's a little bit regrettable that we have more numbers of keynote speakers than the participating companies today. I hope to evaluate the keynote speakers, if I can. Anyway, happy to be here and see you next time. And hopefully we can physically meet and shake hands soon.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you very much all. I look forward to maybe catching up with you tomorrow at the same time and different Zoom link. I'll also send you the calendar invites for tomorrow. So I'm probably going to spend a little bit more time on the master plan of Hanoi Smart City by myself, and we can actually start a little bit earlier with the startup pitching. We anticipating about 6 companies participating as contestants. In the meantime, if you actually fill out the evaluation scorecard, then looking forward to it, from you after tomorrow. And if you have any questions, we can actually just keep in touch. Let me know if you have anything comes up. Okay, Osman, do you have anything?
Thank you all. Very nice meeting you all, and enjoyed our attention. Bye.
So, yeah, enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.